This is a recording about the practice board, or the board that you'll be using. Here it is. Your colleagues, your friends will be making these, and you're going to be using this to program. So what is it? Well, this here, this is what they call PCB. Okay, it's made of fiberglass, and it's got a copper coating on the back, you can see. It's got different components that have been soldered to the copper. And we can see the components here. I imagine you recognise many of them. We've got resistors, we've got 2 LEDs, we've got what's called a transistor there, we've got push to makes. We're going to call this one push to make 1, push to make 2. Equally, that's going to be LED 1 and LED 2. We've got this thing, which is a supercapacitor that acts like a battery, so we can charge that up and run the board remotely. And we have the Genie microchip in the middle. A couple of other things. This is the audio port, the programming port that allows us to program. We can plug this into the computer and change the configuration of the chip, program the chip. And we've got this thing here, which is a diode, which allows the flow of electricity one way, but not the other way. So I want to talk to you primarily about this one here, the Genie 08. It's an 08 because it's got 8 legs. You can also get a Genie 14, you can get a Genie 24 I think as well, which have got a similar amount of legs. They've got either 14 or 24 legs. So the legs, I think you can just see, can you see there's a little circle there? That little circle on a chip, whether it be a static chip or a microcontroller like this, always signifies pin 1. So pin 1 is that pin there, and then you can count the pins in a anti-clockwise direction. So we've got pin 1, 2, 3, 4, then we go over here, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 pins in total. What do the pins do? Well, that's where we can go onto this. And this is on your, I think it's called Genie data sheet in the folder of work that you've been given. You can see this is a picture of the chip with the pins 1 to 8. Top left, pin 1 is the power supply, so that goes to the high side of the circuit, and 8 here, it goes to the low side of the circuit, so that's what gives the Genie its power. Pin 2 is the programming input, and we can see, if we just go back to, we can see it's a little bit difficult. Pin 2 is connected to this 220k resistor, and it goes down on a track and it comes back around to here. But it's a little bit difficult to see actually. What else have we got going on? We have analog input A4. I want you to ignore the A numbers, or digital in output, so we can decide what that's going to be. G4. So let's have a look back at the picture, look at the image, and we can see that this here, this pin 3, is connected to this LED. So of course, if it's connected to an LED, it's an output. In a similar way, we can see that this pin 4 is connected to this push to make switch. That's an input. So I can tell you that pin 3 is actually G4 and pin 4 is G3. This will become clearer when we start to program. As we go around, we can see that pin 5, we're using this as G2, which is going to be, you can see it's connected to that LED, so that's the output, and then pin 6 jumps over, connects to this push to make, so that's the input. What I've done for you is I've written all this down to make it a little clearer, because I know it's quite confusing. That's your chip. Pin 1 high, programming 2. Pin 3 is LED 1, and when you're programming it is called G4. It's an output because it's the LED, of course. Pin 4 is push to make 1, and that's G3 when you're programming, and that's of course an input. And you can see, if I just pull that back a little bit, I've done exactly the same on this side. So I think what's worth doing is just scribbling this down so that you've got this on a piece of paper and you know exactly what each pin refers to when you're programming and what it controls. All right.